screen. 1 minute recording चालू झालं का? Yes. So this is what is flame photometry, which we started in our last lecture. Flame photometry, paper 4, unit 3. We saw what happens in flame test, which we used to do in our SY lab. You aspirate the sample into the flame. If you get apple green flame wavelength around 550, it means barium present. So such flame test we saw. This is a visible region of the spectrum which we saw: violet, indigo, blue and green, yellow, orange, red. Then we saw what is the principle, what happens in the principle. Your sample is atomized, atoms will absorb thermal energy from the flame, will get excited. Excited atom will come to the ground state by emitting radiations. Fraction of excited atoms is given by Boltzmann distribution ratio. We saw this equation, terms, and the last line. If you write, you will get full marks for the principle. Now we come to very, very important part, that is instrumentation. Now the first component of the instrument is the burner, right? So burners, we started with the burners. Now burners, what is the role of the burner? You should know this also we had studied, but I'm again revising before we proceed ahead. So what is the role of burner? The flame should be have ability to evaporate the solvent. Now listen, one of the requirement of flame photometry is sample should be dissolved in a suitable solvent. Means only liquid samples can be aspirated into the flame. So once you insert it into the flame will evaporate your solvent, right? So the flame will evaporate your solvent. The flame should decompose the solid residue into atoms. We cannot put atoms in the flame. The flame will convert the components into atoms. आणि त्या बर्नरवर when the atoms are there, they will absorb thermal energy and then they will emit radiation. This is the role of burner. Why do we need a burner? To vaporize the solvent, to form atoms, and to provide thermal energy for the atoms to get excited. 1 minute, someone has come in. Saloni Nikam. See, this will happens. Okay, so they may ask for 2 marks. What is the role of burner in flame photometry? You only remember the flame test. Flame क्या करेगा? It will evaporate your solvent. It will form atoms and it will give thermal energy for atoms so that they get excited and it will emit radiations. Next. Now next very important is how the temperature of the flame is controlled. The temperature can be controlled by these many factors. You have to do it. They may ask for 2 marks. The temperature of the flame is controlled by which of the following factors? Nature of fuel. Which fuel you are using? Mostly we use hydrogen. Then the ratio of fuel to the oxidant. At what rate you are making them flow, rate of flow of fuel and oxidant. Which solvent you are carrying out, whether you are using acetone, whether you are using ethanol, ethyl acetate, amount of solvent entering the flame, the type of burner, the rate at which the sample is introduced. The temperature of the flame depends upon these 4 factors, right? Now we come to our total consumption burner, which we had done last session. Again, I am revising. You will first draw this diagram. Once you draw the diagram, you will get 2 marks. Then you will explain. It is so easy. It consists of three tubes. Through the center tube, the sample goes and reaches the flame. Through the side tube, fuel. Fuel means usually hydrogen. Oxidant means matchbox. Oxygen will lit the hydrogen and form a flame at the top. Right? Next line you will write, there is a atomizer which is present at the base of the burner that will convert the liquid sample into mist. Mist matlab spray. We had seen in the video, this video is there attached. We saw that the sample gets converted into fine droplets. This is sample consumption, total consumption burner. And what happens? The sample gets sucked by the center tube, enters into the flame. This much you have to write for total consumption burner. But they ask, now who has come? Someone has come. See, it is so disturbing. Swati Gupta. Where was I now? Swati Nikam Saloni, please try to come on time. So, what are the advantages of total consumption burner? The entire sample enters into the flame, so it is more sensitive. You will understand the significance of this statement when you do the second burner. Here, what happens? All the sample enters the flame, so it is more sensitive. And the flame temperature can be adjusted by adjusting the fuel to the oxidant ratio. Here we have seen flame temperature depends upon these many factors. So flame temperature can be adjusted by adjusting the nature of the flame fuel to the oxidant ratio. But the disadvantage is the flame produces noisy and turbulent. I'll explain what is noisy means after while doing the second burner. I'll explain what is turbulent. See, turbulent means it's not very clear. When you are on a flight, you can hear the announcement. The air outside is turbulent. Turbulent matlab kya hai? Fog type, not clear. So here the temperature is noisy. Noisy म्हणजे आवाज देतं असं नाही आहे. It is showing peaks. I'll show that later on. Noisy and turbulent. And the readings are not reproducible because the drop size varies. This part we completed up till here in the last lecture. This was a total consumption burner. Now we will see a premix or a laminar flow burner. See, try to understand with this diagram and then it will be more clear with the video. These are the burners. I hope TY students you all are understanding. We are doing burners in flame photometry. So the burner is a premix. Premix matlab kya? Your sample component, your oxidant and fuel. All these three components are mixed before they enter into the flame. Here there is a flame at the top. So I repeat, your sample, your oxidant means oxygen and fuel that is hydrogen, they are mixed, premixed. So they are mixed and they are made to move through towards the burner. As they move towards the burner, these baffles, this triangular dark shape, what you see baffles for mixing. The baffle keep on rotating, because of which the larger molecules are drained off, whereas the smaller molecules reach the burner. So now I've got a beautiful thing on the YouTube. I will show you. Pre-mix. What is the name of the burner? Everyone listen. It is a pre-mix because we are mixing sample, oxygen and fuel first. Or it is also called as laminar flow burner. Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So
Yes.
now, yes, now everyone be alert, huh? You all see the video, beautiful video. You will never forget in life. Wait, wait, wait. Yes. So you can see the title, pre-mix or the laminar flow burner. Chalo. It is animation, huh? Yes, but two types of burner used. Total consumption burner, premix. Total consumption we saw was the first burner. Shallow. Next, this is how the design actually looks. Here we take an example of flame photometer. This is the chimney from where we see the flame. This is a sample beaker. I hope every you all can see the animation part.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and see, pre-mix burner consists of cylindrical tube made up of a brass or a steel. So you can see this is a cylinder, very beautiful. See, here we saw the diagram. There is a flame at the top. Oxygen goes from the side tube. Fuel comes from the top tube, whereas the sample also goes from the side tube. See student, here there is a flame at the top. Niche say you can see sample is going. Oh my god. This is the burner head and this length is about 10 centimeter long. That is one of the advantage. So path length is 10 centimeter. The burner design provides a much longer path length to increase the sensitivity of the method. Path length ज़्यादा होगा तो more sample will be atomized. Now listen, I have paused it. Sample will go from the tube which is below. Oxygen will come from this top tube, and from here you can see hydrogen. And these are the baffles. Are you all able to see my cursor? Mouse.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so these are the dumbbell shape. What they have shown is the baffle. They keep on rotating, and these three component will get mixed here, and then they are stuck by the baffle and larger drops come down from the drain, whereas only the smaller drops reach the burner. Okay, so read this. The chamber has series of baffles which mix the fuel and the oxidant. The flame path length is more. Now you can see, wait. Yes, so here what happens, this oxygen sample, what he has written, the purpose of the baffle is only to allow only the small aerosols means small mist of liquid particle to reach the flame. So see, larger particles of the liquid are drained off. Larger particles strike the baffle and empty out in a drain tube. So they are not allowed. They come out through the drain tube. See, these larger particles are getting collected in the drain tube, whereas only the small droplets reach the flame. आई काय झालंय संपलं ओ. Okay, so here you can see the larger droplets come out in the drain, whereas only the small droplets reach the flame. That is a pre-mix burner. Okay, so we go back to our, where is my PPT? Yeah, here. So this is the diagram, same diagram which we have seen. So in exam, definitely one burner is asked. So in premix or laminar flow burner, the sample, oxidant and the fuel are mixed together and then they are made to flow through the series of baffles which are rotating. and these baffles will allow only the small droplets to reach the flame, whereas the bigger droplets are collected out in the drain. Okay, and draw a very nice diagram. But along with that, they will definitely ask and write the advantages. The flame produces non-turbulent. Turbulent, I explained, non-turbulent means it is a clear flame and it is noiseless. Vaporization, atomization, excitation take place efficiently. Why it takes place? Because the path length of the flame is about 10 centimeters. ते मोठं आहे ना त्याची पाथ. सो व्हॉट हॅपन्स, वेपरायझेशन सगळ्याचं होतं, ॲटमायझेशन अँड एक्सायटेशन. This enhances the sensitivity and reproducibility. So उसका sensitivity भी ज़्यादा है, reproducibility is also more. Whereas in the previous burner, they are not reproducible. Why? Because the drop size varies. Here what happens? All drops enter the flame, whether they are big drop or small drop. But in pre-mix burner, only the small drops enter the flame. Therefore, the readings are reproducible. But there is a major disadvantage. Only the small portion of the sample reaches the flame. You have seen in flame photometer, most of the sample is drained, lost in the form of a drain, and only few of the atoms get excited. That is a pre-mix burner. Now I want to show you all what is noise. Noise matlab, wait, I will stop and I will show you on the board. Noise matlab unwanted variations or unwanted peak. Noise means, suppose in your expected graph, something you have written over here, and you are expected a S-shaped graph. Most of the times you get this fluctuations. You don't get a smooth curve. So this unwanted what we get is called as a noise. Noise matlab doesn't mean that there is a noise, right? So now again I share. Okay, so where were we? Yeah. Yes, so first component of a flame photometer was your burner. This is the main component of the flame photometer. So first you have to write what is the role of burner. We have seen it is so simple. Solvent को vaporize करो, atoms form करो, and atoms should be excited. Then the temperature, this temperature of the flame you can adjust by varying these variables. And it is asked if it is an offline paper, definitely for 2 marks. Either they will ask the role of burner, or question may be the temperature of the flame can be adjusted by. You have to write either nature of the fuel and oxidant. कौन सा फ्यूल आप यूज कर रहे हो, fuel to the oxidant ratio, the rate of flow of fuel and oxidant, nature of solvent, nature of amount of solvent entering, type of burners, rate of introduction of sample. Then we saw what is a total consumption burner. In total consumption, what happened? All the sample is consumed. Therefore, the name total consumption. Draw the diagram and don't forget to write there is a atomizer or a nebulizer at the base of the flame, which will convert your sample into the spray. That is there in the previous video. I have put it in the Google Classroom or video of this in the presentation. Then you have advantages. Please, you should do the advantages. It is more sensitive. The flame temperature can be adjusted by adjusting to a fuel to the oxidant ratio. See, it is difficult to remember all things, but somehow you need to remember. What are the disadvantages? The flame is noisy and turbulent. 1 minute. We will try to see the. I tried yesterday to see turbulent flame. Wait, I will show you. Now I'm having time. So turbulent, huh? Flame. What are we trying to see? What is a turbulent flame? तो इधर जाने का you type turbulent flame. हाँ, enter. Go to videos. I'll show you. किधर ये turbulent means it is not very clear. Yeah. You're right. See if you can understand. This is a turbulent and this is a laminar, clear flame. So in premix, the flame is turbulent. It's not very clear. Here the flame is clear. Are you all able to see my screen? Yes. So this is what is turbulent flame and this is a laminar flame. There is something, one more I had seen. I don't know whether I'll be able to trace it. Anyway, you all can Google it when you study. Nowadays, Google is available free. So, in the total consumption burner, the flame is noisy and turbulent. Please don't forget this. Readings are not reproducible as the size of the drops vary. Matlab, all the drops will enter the flame, so the readings are not reproducible. Then we saw what is a premix or the laminar burner. I hope you will remember this. Advantages: it is non-turbulent and noiseless. Vaporization, atomization, etc. take place efficiently and it is sensitive and reproducible. The disadvantage is where was I? Where was I? Yeah. So I hope you will not forget this now. Only a small portion reaches the flame. Flame का spelling is the wrong है, हाँ? FLAME. And hence only a few atoms are excited. So now we go to the next component. First component was burner. This full technique is based on the burner. Now next component is your collimating mirror. So whatever, see, either if I take a potassium sample, potassium will emit pinkish violet flame. So this mirror, collimating mirror will collect the radiations from the flame and they will direct it to the monochromator. So I repeat, अगर bluish green flame है color, so the collimating lens will collect the blue-green color light from the flame and direct it to the monochromator through the entrance slit. ये जो है ना, between the collimating lens and monochromator there is a entrance slit. Then the blue color will enter into your monochromator. What is the role of monochromator? You adjust it up to 550. So only blue color light will pass through the monochromator. Other wavelength light is not allowed to fall on the detector. Okay. So I repeat, monochromator will allow only the characteristic light to pass and fall into the right. So The blue color, like suppose I'm taking here, you are emitting a bluish green. Collimating lens will collect the radiations from the flame directed to the monochromator through the entrance slit. Monochromator will allow only a particular wavelength light to fall on the detector. Means suppose bluish green and you will adjust monochromator to 550, so only the light blue light will fall on the detector. The detector is a photocell which will convert the light energy into the electrical energy which is amplified and recorded. So any doubt in this? Yes, now I am going to ask questions. I am